But we've got yet another former NBA player, one that played in the league a really long time, with one of the most unique names. I can vividly, unfortunately, I'm old enough to remember watching Olden Polynice play, and of course him coming up with the Seattle Supersonics, and then most notably I remember him with the Kings.
The WNBA says it wants growth. It says it wants eyeballs. It says it wants respect. But here's the cold, blunt truth. The league's golden ticket, Caitlin Clark, is getting treated like Michael Jordan in the late 80s, except without the league stepping in to protect her. And now, a former NBA veteran is calling the whole thing out. Loud, clear, no sugarcoating. Olden Polynice. Yeah, the 7-footer who banged down low in the paint for years with Seattle and Sacramento just dropped the hammer on the WNBA, saying exactly what fans, analysts, and even Clark herself have been too polite to admit.
But he has come out and he has said what so many of us has been banging the table about for the last 20 months now, and that's the WNBA needs to do a better job of protecting their money. And what is their money? Caitlin Clark. We know, we've said back for the last 20 months, we watched Caitlin Clark get the ever-loving crap beat out of her on the court. Mostly last year, but, I mean, let's be honest. The season started this year.
The league doesn't protect its star. It doesn't protect its money. It doesn't protect its golden egg. Think about that for a second. Every ticket sold, every broadcast deal negotiated, every casual fan tuning in, it's all orbiting around one name, Caitlin Clark. And yet, night after night, she's been hacked, shoved, jawed at, and targeted like it's open season on the rookie. Sound familiar? It should, because Michael Jordan lived through the exact same treatment, the infamous Jordan rules dished out by the bad boy Pistons.
And it seemed like every other game, there was some kind of an incident this year. And of course, it culminated with all the drama with Angel Reese and the Indiana Fever fans being under investigation for being a bunch of racists. You can't make this stuff up. It actually happened. The investigation, not the racist part. Seriously. So, he draws a comparison that I have made a lot.
The difference? The NBA eventually woke up, realized they had a global superstar to protect, and changed the game around him. The WNBA? They're sleepwalking through the exact same moment, risking everything, while fans watch Clark get beaten down and wonder, how much more can she take before the shine wears off? This isn't just about one player. This is about whether the WNBA even knows how to handle a superstar when they finally have one. Stick with me, because what Polynice just said exposes everything wrong with how the league treats Caitlin Clark, and why ignoring it could cost them their future.
Between Caitlin Clark and Michael Jordan, all right? You're seeing an effect that's happened in the WNBA, although they're doing their best to blow it. The Natasha Cloud situation, I'm very interested to see how much damage that's going to do. That's a subject that people are awfully passionate about, and they are furious. So here we go. Caitlin Clark's Fever managed to make the playoffs without her, but they went down in the first game to the Indiana.
Caitlin Clark didn't just stroll into the WNBA. She walked in carrying an entire sport on her back. From Iowa's sold-out arenas to record-shattering Final Four ratings, she dragged women's basketball into conversations it hadn't touched in decades. When the Fever drafted her, it wasn't just another rookie. Polynice isn't just blowing smoke when he says the league failed her. He's pointing out the obvious. If you have a golden goose, you don't throw it into the wolves. You build it up, you showcase it, you protect it. Instead, Clark became the target.
The Atlanta Dream, good Lord. The Atlanta Dream, 80-68. Now they're just one game away from the end of their season, unless they can find a way to win 2 straight without their franchise player. Olden Polynice appeared on the most recent episode of Byron Scott's Fast Break. My God, everybody's got a podcast. In a discussion that mostly centered on WNBA players demanding more pay, he took a slight detour to say the WNBA needs to recognize
not just for defenders, but for critics, rivals, and even fellow players who resented the spotlight she brought with her. Every game turned into a proving ground for somebody else's pride. Stop Caitlin Clark, make a statement, and the WNBA, they let it happen. This is where the Jordan comparison gets real. Michael had the Pistons. Caitlin has the entire league looking at her like prey. Olden Polynice didn't mince words. He said it flat out. You had the golden egg. You still do. But you clown. Caitlin Clark is your golden egg. Translation: the WNBA struck gold with Clark, and instead of treating her like the future of the league, they've left her out there to get battered. Now here's where the Jordan rules come in. Back in the late 80s, the Detroit Pistons had one mission whenever Michael Jordan drove to the basket: knock him down. Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn, Dennis Rodman. They didn't care if it looked ugly. If Jordan went airborne, they made him pay. It was legal bullying, and everyone knew it. The difference? The NBA eventually stepped in. The league recognized that Jordan wasn't just another player. He was the player, the future, the cash cow. And once the NBA started protecting him, Jordan soared, the Bulls dominated, and the league exploded into a global empire. Polynice is saying the WNBA needs its own wake-up call. He sees Caitlin Clark getting hit with flagrant fouls, shoved to the floor, jawed at every possession, and he sees a league shrugging its shoulders. Meanwhile, players who are begging for higher paychecks are the same ones taking shots at the person most likely to deliver those paychecks. That's not just bad optics, that's self-sabotage. And it's not just about the Fever's schedule or one hard foul here and there. It's about the pattern. That's like yelling at your boss for a raise while lighting the company's best-selling product on fire. It makes zero sense. And that's the contradiction Polynice exposed. He basically said, "You want the bag? Protect the one bringing the bag. Don't resent it. Don't sabotage it." But here's the ugly truth. Jealousy is eating this league alive. Every opponent sees Caitlin Clark and thinks, "This is my chance to make a statement. This is my shot to prove I'm just as good." And instead of stepping up skill for skill, they've turned it into a physical beatdown. Fans see it. Broadcasters see it. Former NBA and WNBA players see it. Everyone outside the league is saying the same thing. Protect the superstar, because your paycheck depends on her. Everyone, except the people inside the league. And that's the escalation. The longer the WNBA resists protecting Clark, the bigger this divide grows. It's not just Caitlin Clark versus defenders anymore. It's Caitlin Clark versus the system. A system too proud, too bitter, and too blind to realize it's biting the hand that feeds it. Let's get real about what Caitlin Clark has gone through. In her very first WNBA game, she dropped 20 points. That should have been the headline. But what dominated the story? 10 turnovers, a 21-point loss, and a rookie tossed straight into the meat grinder. Then came the Liberty, 2 games against the league's most stacked roster. Clark fought, but the results were predictable. Blowout losses, constant double teams, and defenders testing just how much punishment she could take. Fans didn't get highlight reels, they got body checks and frustration. And yet, even in that chaos, Clark kept grinding. Step-back threes, laser passes, fearless drives to the rim. The talent is undeniable. But every time she finds her rhythm, here comes another hard foul, another cheap shot, another reminder that in this league, she's not just playing basketball, she's surviving a gauntlet. This isn't just about protecting a superstar's image, it's about Caitlin Clark isn't just one player. She's a litmus test for the WNBA. The league's response to her treatment is a mirror, reflecting everything it's doing right and everything it's failing at. When a league ignores the welfare of its marquee player, the consequences aren't abstract. Ratings drop, attendance falters, sponsors hesitate. The Fever learned this the hard way. Fans filled arenas thinking Clark would play. When she didn't, empty seats multiplied. Broadcasts flagged underwhelming numbers, and suddenly the illusion of popularity cracked. That's a wake-up call the league can't ignore. Then there's the cultural side. Polynice compared her to Jordan for a reason. Michael Jordan wasn't just an NBA star, he was a global icon. The WNBA has a chance at the same scale with Clark, but only if it nurtures talent instead of letting rivalries and jealousy chip away at the foundation. Ignore it, and the league risks alienating the very stars that make it relevant. The players themselves also carry responsibility. Jealousy and resentment don't build a sport, they undermine it. If the women of the league want higher pay, broader exposure, and respect, they must recognize that Clark is the engine driving much of that growth. Protect her, support her, elevate her, or risk watching the league's momentum stall. And for fans, this is a call to attention. Every WNBA fan should demand more than lip service. The league needs to understand the stakes, and the players need to understand who's keeping the spotlight on them. Caitlin Clark is more than a scorer. She's a symbol of potential, a revenue generator, and a reason the sport is trending globally. Failing to protect her isn't just unfair. It's a strategic blunder that could ripple across the league for years. Here's the bottom line. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's golden egg. Every ticket sold, every broadcast deal, every casual fan watching from home, it all flows through her. And yet, she's been left to fight through a storm the league and some players refuse to acknowledge. But here's the truth. Clark is more than capable. She's resilient, she's fearless, she's rewriting expectations and forcing everyone, fans, players, and executives alike, to confront the reality. This league's future is tied to her, and the clock is ticking. So what's next? The WNBA must wake up. Players must support her instead of resenting her. And fans? Keep watching. Keep demanding better. Because the moment the league stops protecting its stars, it loses not just games, it loses its identity. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rookie, she's a revolution in motion. And if the WNBA wants to survive and thrive, it's time to protect its cash cow before it's too late. Don't miss a second. Like, comment, and subscribe to Black and White Sports. Stay tuned for no-holds-barred takes on the hottest debates in basketball, because we're here to tell the truth, unfiltered and unapologetic.